everyone, I thought it would be nice to start October with pictures from Tiny Year. Now I've had a look at the October pages and I have picked this one. Now it's a bit of a mixture, so we've got a largish picture here and here, and we've got three little ones, and then this is quite a big scene. So I'm going to break it up a little bit. They'll have a video here and here, and these will be a little bit shorter, but this one I might break into 2 or 3 parts because it's quite a big one. I decided to use my, it's page 39 by the way, from Tiny Year, which is still available to buy as you can buy it as a printed book from Amazon on Amazon paper if you wish, and you can also buy the October Tinies from Agotapop's website, Etsy shop, sorry. Now I'm just getting my swatch chart ready. I decided to use Black Widow pencils because I think they have a fair amount of the right sorts of colours that I'm looking for this picture, and they sharpen to a fine point, which I think we'll need in places. So with our sweet pie shop, I'm going to start with the actual pumpkin and then work on the details afterwards. So I like to start my pumpkin, I think I'm going to start it with a base of orange actually and work from there. We do have a pumpkin orange I think, but we do have a colour called pumpkin, but I'm actually going to start with a slightly lighter colour. I want the burnt orange. I'm just trying to find it. There's the pumpkin. There's the burnt orange. I'm going to start with the burnt orange, and I'm just going to colour over all of the areas that I want to be orange, just to start with. Now the reason, as I say, I chose Black Widows, I want something that isn't too soft or too hard, and that's got, I can sharpen and will hold its point quite well, but also that has the right range of colour. Polychromos work really well on this paper, but I'm actually using those next door on a little project, well, page I should say, but also I use them a lot, so it's quite nice to vary it a little bit for you in case you don't have the polychromos. I do have comparison charts between Black Widows and other brands if you need something like that to help you, and if you have a brand that I haven't done a chart for, let me know and I'll see if I can. Now we've got to be careful here, we've got to, that's a little cake stand there, colouring around that. This is why sometimes I like to do a little layer in the base first. It helps me identify the shape that I'm then working with, and maybe where I might want to put shadow or whatever, you know. Right. Oh, I did want to talk to you guys about something. There's a new thing. If you watch videos on a phone, I assume a tablet would be the same. Basically on the app, YouTube app, you can hype them. Now, hype is similar to like, so it's just I think you have to, where the like and comment buttons are, I think you might have to sort of use your finger to move along that sort of menu to find the hype button. And you can just press hype, and what that does is that gives me a certain amount of points. Every hype my video gets, I get a certain amount of points, and then those points that get added up, and the best ones, the highest points, get put into a sort of leaderboard. Now its aim is that smaller creators can get higher in the leaderboard because they have more points per hype. So if you're a big YouTuber, if you're Mr. Beast, you probably get 1 point per hype. I get 2,400 points per hype, and I had a look at a few other people. Sarah Renee Clark, for example, she's quite a big, she's probably the highest followed channel that does colouring related content. She gets 60 points per hype. So it's all depending on I suspect it's depending on your subscriptions, how many subscribers you have, but it might also be to do with your viewing figures and things like that. So it's a way to get channels that are smaller a little bit more exposure. So that's very basic. It's not particularly neat. That's not something I'm worrying about at the moment. What I'm doing is I'm just sitting back now and checking I've coloured all the bits, which I have. And now we're going to get a darker colour. We're going to put the shadows in and we're going to work and layer. So for the shadow, I'm actually going to go for one of the brown colours that's a bit more orangey. I think the rattlesnake is quite a good colour, although I'm not very keen on the name of it. So rattlesnake, we're going to use it in these little gaps. So thinking like here, there, and just then fade it like that. So here I'm going to put it across this line, keeping above it as best as I can. It looks much better if you do, but you know, I don't always manage like that. And then this one. Now this line disappears behind these leaves. They look like oak leaves. We've got an acorn, haven't we, as well? So probably are. So we need to sort of find it here and here. Remember, sort of fading off. I haven't done a very good job of it there. That's better. And here. And then I'm sort of guessing it might be maybe a bit darker there. And then we have this one. And it must be a bit in there. And then down here. There we go. And then, whoops, I just put my elbow on my pencil. Let's just move it out of the way. So the same here. So we're due to get a storm this weekend. It's not unusual for us to get stormy weather. We've had a bit of a warning, a weather warning by the weather companies, you know. Basically, secure your bins and your trampolines. I don't have a trampoline. You know, anything that might blow around. But I think we're okay. The good thing is, because it rained a lot, then things like little plants in pots aren't going to blow around too much, because they're quite heavy from the rain. I'm just putting a little bit more down there where I think there might be some shadow. Do the same here. Right. Oh, I haven't done that bit up there. And so yes, it's going to be quite windy. Now I want a slightly lighter colour to sort of start blending that in. We're going to go back to the oranges, I think, and go for the sort of darker. I think we'd use the pumpkin now. It would seem wrong not to use it, wouldn't it? Oh, that's shining up nicely in the light. So where should we start? I'm just going to start here. I'm going to go over what I've done and then sort of blend it out towards the edge, and I will use another colour as well to finish it off. But just I'm doing that bit because I just have a feeling I might forget otherwise. So I hope everyone else is having a good day. What have I done today? Got up very late. We just sat in bed because my son was having a lie-in. It was fine. I was on my phone. I didn't wake up that early. Well, my tablet in bed, and just looking at a few bits and bobs, playing a few games. I used to always go on Instagram and like and comment on pictures and things, but sometimes I like to just play a little game. Anyway, I was doing that, and then what have we done today? Put the sheets on to wash. It's not very exciting really, is it? I'm going to put, I don't want to do it too hard because I don't want it, I want this to stand out as being darker, but this would have some darker bits around the edge. And yeah, we had a slow breakfast, which was nice. It's actually Sunday today, so you know, Now, I don't like that. Have I done this side? Did I even do this side very much? I'm not sure. I can't even remember what I did. I was yapping. What I'm going to do is go for a light yellow, orange or yellowy orange. I'm thinking serpent. Here it is. And I'm going to go over all of it, and then I may come back and do the shadowy bits a bit darker. We'll see how it all looks when I've done this. So I'm not going to burnish it too hard. I'm going to try to mix the colours up a bit, fill in all the gaps, try and make it look tidy-ish. But yeah, so yeah, the sheets are in the dryer now. Actually, they've already washed, and yeah, that transition there is not very good. I'm gonna blend that a bit better in a minute. What I did I did the ironing as well, didn't I? First thing, and I did a bit of updated my accounts. Very exciting. Did a bit of admin-y type stuff for the business. First thing. I usually do actually do bits and pieces first thing while I'm still waking up. I don't know whether that's a good time to do it really, but now I'm going to use that the burnt orange to just here. It doesn't look particularly well blended. That's better. Just to, if I feel that the difference between the colours is too much, I can just put a little bit in. Now, I don't think we've got enough difference in our dips to look really dark. So I'm actually going to get a quite a darker tone. I'm thinking cinnamon, and to sort of really go in with some shadow in here. So sort of on the line and just above on this one. Try to go right up to the line, try not to go under the line. It's not the easiest thing to do. Here we're making our own line. There we go, concentrating, sorry, not enough chat, too much concentration. Now once I've done this bit here, what I'm also going to do with this colour is to do a bit of shadow under some of the items that are on the page. So I'm thinking there might be a bit of shadow here from the stem, and that bit, and then under these leaves, around them maybe a little bit. I'm not doing it as hard as I did this bit, just a little bit. I'm assuming it's called Sweet Pie Shop. It's a pumpkin pie shop. Never had it, probably never will. Apparently I've missed something amazing, but it's not something we have. You can buy the mix, but there's too much sugar in it for my liking as well. I think we could do a little bit around the door as well, just a tad. A bit behind the trolley. But yeah, it's not, you know, I always think of pumpkins and things as savoury food. Right, now we have this top part. I'm going to do that next. I'm going to use the grass blade. It's just a colour I really like, and I think it'll work. Now this is my lighter green that I'm using in this. I'm using a combination. I'm going to put the light green all over. And then I'm going to use a darker green in some areas. So I'm going to put down a decent layer of this. There we go. And then I'm going to pick the olive green. Oh yes, it's small, my olive green, but that's okay. To put in there where there's some shadow. And then along these little lines. It'd be like shadow along the edge at the bottom there. Maybe use darker on the top too. Like that. So it just gives it a bit of interest. Okay, now where to next? Well, we could do the door frame and the window frames, and I'm thinking we could use a I'm going to go for a really dark brown for those, so I'm thinking the huntsman. Is that the huntsman now? There it is, the huntsman. And so all of this, quite hard. I'm thinking dark wood window frames. And then these little bits. There we go. And then the same over here. Now I've got a little idea for the glass. There are different ways it can be done. You can do it as if it's there's a light on inside and you can see light coming through. And I like doing that on autumnal warm colour pictures because it just seems to work. You can make it blue or grey and make it look like it's reflecting light. And that can look very impressive. I've seen it done very well, but as I say, in this particular picture, I feel like I want it to look light, like it's, I'm going to use this colour for here as well. I want it to look like, you know, that it's warm and cosy. We're getting to cosy time of year, aren't we? My husband said this morning he wants the warmer duvet on the bed. When we change the sheets today, which is fair enough. Now we want a nice warm yellow. I'm thinking nugget, mustard, egg yolk, Aztec gold, gold dust, one of those. Let's go nugget. There we go. They're all much for muchness, to be honest. We'll need it quite sharp to get in all these little bits. Now it can be nice. Whoopsie. It can be nice, before I was so rudely interrupted, to make the very outsides of the windows more orangey and the insides a lighter yellow to make it look a bit more glowy. But because we've got these, because we've got all the leading, I guess it is, on the windows. I used to live in a house with that on the windows. Then it makes it a little bit difficult, so I think it's easier just to block it in. Yeah, the first house I bought a house with my sister. It had like this lead crosshatch on the window. Don't know if we changed the windows. I don't think we did. We changed the kitchen. It was really nasty. Some of the cupboards were so gross that we wouldn't use them. when we moved in. It was just horrible. So we got that sorted out quite quickly. Now we've got, I'm going to do the door. Now the door I want to be just a lighter shade of brown. I really want a sort of tan type colour. We don't have that. Maybe the stink bug might work. It's a great name. Is that it there? No. We do have a dark tan, but it's not really what I want. Yeah, there's the stink bug. We'll try this stink bug. Which I now know, as someone kindly informed me, is a real thing. Ugh. You can keep them. We don't get them here. We don't want them. That's a bit yellow, isn't it? We'll get a bit of a brown. I'm going to go with this. This is mud. It's really quite a dark brown. But what I'm going to do, really light layer on top. Just a light layer, and it takes it up a shade. Can you see? And then we can make it a bit heavier where these lines are. And even just draw in a few more to make it look a bit like it's wood. Because obviously all pumpkin houses have wooden doors. I mean, we all know that. Now we've also got this bit up here which to me looks wooden. So I think I'm going to do it in the same way. I'm going to go over the writing now. Because it's quite small. You'll see how I'm going to. I know what I'm going to do. Like that. And then, as I did before, a light layer of the mud on top. Yeah, it was such a little house that we had. It was what they call a 2 up, 2 down. So basically, there was a little tiny porch. So it's a different colour to that because I've done it lighter. I think that's fine. I'm going to go over the writing with this mud. So there's a little tiny porch, and then did it have a cupboard in, or was a cupboard outside? I can't remember. It was like a meter cupboard. And then you went straight into the sitting room through the front door. The stairs were also in the sitting room, and then through the back. The sitting room had a door. The back room was the kitchen, and then stairs. And upstairs, 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. Quite small, but we used to keep our dining table under the stairs. Now let's do this little bit of pumpkin slice here. Now we do a sort of slightly easier version of what we did for the main pumpkin, so I'm just going to maybe use the burnt orange. Now what colour is the flesh inside? I'm just going to go over that with the brighter serpent, and I think I'm going to use the serpent for the inside as well. And what are these little balls? Are they dough? I'm going to just try and make those seeds a little bit darker with the same colour, because in my memory of carving pumpkins, which I've done once, the seeds are quite similar colour to the flesh. Now, pie balls. What are these balls? Don't know. Right, let's, I'm going to grab the cinnamon, and I'm going to do this bit of the acorn, which I've assumed is a lamp. Like that. It's a little bit dark for an acorn, but anyway, it's okay. Now let's do some leaves. The oak leaves. See, I don't want to do too much that isn't green because we've got so much orange. Now, let's have a think. I'm going to go for the apple for the main colour for the oak leaves. I'm going to make them all greeny. That's how they look in the spring though, really, but you know. I'm going to add a little bit of more of an autumn twist to them in a minute. You'll see. And this large one as well. I don't think that is a trolley, I think it's a table. I think those round circles are tree stumps, aren't they? I made a mistake there. It doesn't matter. I haven't even coloured it yet. There we go. Just getting into all the nooks and crannies. Now on the edge of each, I thought we could do a bit of brown to make it look like it's starting to change colour. I'm going to choose the mahogany. That train was very loud going by. Is that it? Yes, mahogany. I don't want it really, really dark, so what I'm going to do is just put it quite gently to start with and see how it looks. Yeah, I think that's fine. I'm happy with that. Just as if the edge is turning. Do you see? There we go. And it sort of hides where I've gone over the edge with the orange as well, which is quite cunning of me. You may not have gone over the edge of yours with the orange, so it might not be such a problem for you. There we go. And we'll do the same with this big one too. We can make this bit a little bit larger because it's a bigger leaf. I'm thinking I might want to try and just blend it a bit more, the little ones. Maybe not. I'll see how I go, see how it looks. I think it can be acceptable to have a sort of border. There we go. I do love oak leaves. They are so beautiful. I wonder if you get oak trees all over the world. They're lovely little acorns. And when I was little, my grandfather used to show me, I used to pick them up on the way to his house. He would show me how to take this bit, and it's got a stalk on it. You can pretend the stalk, put it in your mouth and pretend this is your pipe. He used to say it was naughty to teach me how to smoke. Fortunately, he didn't. I didn't pick up smoking, but I know it's something that some people do, and that's fine. I don't, you know, each to their own, I say, but it's just something I'm glad I didn't do. The cost for a start. But I think these days, it's in our society, it is less socially acceptable than it used to be. So, I mean, my kids have never experienced walking into a pub or a restaurant that was like the air was blue with smoke and things like that, which is something we used to do. And when we went to visit both of my grandfathers smoked, so you went to visit them, and yeah, it was some time. If he'd had other people there, you couldn't see across the room for the blue smoke in the air. But yeah, not some. My children only have to experience smoke when I burn the toast, quite often. But yeah, it's never been something they've been interested in doing. Fortunately, I think again saves money. I mean, obviously we all know about the health things too, but it saves so much money. There we go. Just I feel like all these leaves need burnishing with something to brighten them up a little bit. I think I might do my other set of leaves first and then decide whether I'm going to do something. I'm thinking maybe the zombie. Actually, I might just do it now while I think about it. Yeah, I'm going to get the zombie. grab a zombie. Any passing zombie will do. That's much better. Look how pretty that is. Yeah, zombies got quite a thing, isn't it? Sort of Twilight and vampires, perhaps more so, I suppose. That says, isn't it? But anyway, I do like the names of these pencils. They're so funny. See, I feel like this needs something too, but maybe I'll go slightly lighter. Maybe I'll go calm lime for those and just burnish those over, and they'll brighten them as well. Maybe they were slightly less in need of it, but this one, it will brighten it up. You don't have to do this. It's too much for you if you don't have the right colour. Now we have these other leaves. Maybe we'll do them. Should we do them? No, I was going to think about doing them brown, and then I thought no, the berries might be a reddish brown. I was thinking of doing the berries in the rusty, so maybe I'll do that first if I can find it. There it is. I need to sharpen this one. So here we are, rusty. And just reduce it to the middle so you've got a darker outside. Now you can use more than one colour if it's easier for you, but I find with most colours, if you layer them up more on the edge, you get a more saturated amount of colour. It looks slightly darker. Just helps to make the berries look more spherical. Trying to decide if what I can hear is rain or not. I wouldn't be surprised. My parents came back off their holiday yesterday. They had their best weather on their last day and they had to leave mid-afternoon. It's a bit of a shame for them, but and I think it was quite cold, but it was a sort of last minute decision to go really, and before the weather got really cold. So I guess had they gone a little bit earlier in the summer, but they did have a holiday in the summer earlier on. Now these other leaves, I am going to grab the green grass. I don't know where it is though. Oh, it's quite a long way along here. What's it next to? Where's that green glow? I just spotted it next to that. Is it? Ah, there it is. The leaves been sharpened off. Wow, almost. Right. I'm going to layer up quite a lot at the bottom here, and then less as you go up. I saw this really interesting little reel on Facebook yesterday, and it was when Alton Towers first opened. Now, Alton Towers was probably, I'm thinking, guessing, one of our first theme parks in the UK. It's still going now, but when it first opened, it's a building, Alton Towers is, and with gardens. And so when it first opened, you basically had the gardens to look round, and then a couple of roller coasters, and it was really, really cheap. And you just, I think you paid to park and went in for free. I'm not sure, something like that. And yeah, but I was going to colour that as a stem, and I realised it's not. But now it's like got really huge roller coasters and rides and things in it, you know, and it's very different to what it was back then. But it was quite interesting. I found the comments quite interesting. I'm just going to find a colour for the tips of these. What colour's that? Lime fruit. I think I am going to use the lime fruit. You can see my sort of love of yellowy greens coming through. So yeah, I went when I was at school. It was a sort of house trip. I must have been 11 or 12. But and we took the children when they were really small, and they had like a special kids area with slow roundabouts and things. And yeah, so but it was just really interesting seeing the history. I'm going to continue with this light colour to do this colour on the ground. I'm not sure if it's going to be dark enough, but I don't want it to be really dark. I just want it to be a little nod that there's something there. Now, the steps. See, I was thinking, would they be grey like stone? They look like stone, but we've got no cold colours. So I'm slightly reluctant. I have a think. What I need is a pastry colour for all these balls and this pie. I think it is raining hard. I'm going to use the light bronze and use it really gently and see if I can... Should we bring you back into the middle? See if I can make it look a bit like pastry. I think that'll do. It's probably a bit brown, but yeah. Now we need these two tree stumps. Again, we need like a tan colour. I'm going to try the oyster. I don't know if it's going to work. I'm going to give it a go. A sort of beige is what I want really. Actually, the brown fog might work. Now try this. Now I've got it in my hand. It's not too bad actually. I think I'm going to make this bit this colour too. Could we do that for these, like they're logs? If they were logs, they'd have wood grain. They'd be, yeah, I'm going to make them into like, yeah, logs. But we'd do, what colour? We could use the huntsman actually. Where's that? Here it is. But that's what we use for the door frames and things. It might just work, but lightly, keep it on its side, light pressure, hold it near the end, like that. Then I'm going to put some lines in it to make it look more like wood. I really think it's probably stone, but doing my own thing with it really. Now we've got a bowl here and a cake stand that we need to do to finish off with. I was thinking red. Have we got an orangey red? Oh, we've got a colour called fire, which I think could be just perfect if I can find it. There it is. Fire. Sharpen, and then we'll go for it. So for a bowl, I tend to make them more intensely coloured at the edges and less in the middle. So it just gives us the impression that maybe this bit is closer to us. And it just makes the bowl look slightly more rounded. This one's got a little base. And then we've got the bottom of this cake stand to do like that. I've missed a tiny bit of the orange there. I'm just going to fill that in. There we go, that's better. And I've actually missed quite a bit of the orange up here as well. I'm doing this with the serpent, it's the lightest one, just to fill in the gaps really and burnish it a bit. I'm just fiddling. As I say, just filling in the gaps where I haven't gone right up to the edges. There we go, there it's our sweet pie shop. I'm happy with that. So that is the first one from this lovely page called, it's actually called Pumpkin Town. Of course, she's got a Pumpkin Town download in her Etsy, which has recently come out that I reviewed as well. which is lovely. But I thought we'd stick with Tiny Year because, you know, I'm working through that one this year. Well, thank you for watching. As I said at the beginning, if you like this, give it a like, comment, but also have a look and see if you can give it a hype as well. Who knows what will happen. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your day and happy colouring.